Hi, my name's Curt Carlson, and I want to describe how AI tutors can help you master value creation and create better, more effective value propositions. AI tutors are scripts that describe the big ideas of value creation to be used with existing AI systems. They help you understand the big idea and provide additional insights. They basically are your virtual iteration buddy to augment your teams. They can't, clearly they can't identify actual unmet needs. You have to do that. And they can't come up with actual solutions. But they can help you understand, and you and your team understand better the fundamental ideas that have to be addressed with all innovations, and gain additional insights faster to help you move ahead. So the big idea I want to describe is what we call NABC Action Plans. Your job as an innovator is not to just solve problems, although you do. The real objective is to identify and address the important unmet needs of others. And we found that this framework is fundamental for starting that process, whether it's a big innovation or a little one. You basically always have to, at the start, address these questions. It starts with a hook, just to say what the purpose of the meeting is, and with a grabber to gain the attention of your audience so they pay attention to you. It starts then obviously with the need, the important unmet need, your approach for the offering and the business model. You need to do both. Then the benefits per cost, that's the definition of customer value. And then why is that better than the competition or all the alternatives? And it ends with an action. You gave the presentation for a reason, and you need to say what you're going to do next or what you want as you move ahead. So this framework, as I said, is fundamental. And you start with this, and of course, it's focused first on your end user or your customer, because that's where everything starts. But eventually you need to create one of these for all of your stakeholders. They all have to be satisfied for you to be successful. So this is the big idea we're going to start with. And if you open up your browser, you can find Chat GPT, I just call it Chat. And there's a place where you can enter queries and get answers back from it. So in this case, we're going to be inserting one of the big ideas, NABC Action Plans, to help us develop value propositions. Now, immediately it helps you by creating a benchmark for what the virtual world knows about the topic you're interested in. So that can save you a lot of time as you're putting your value proposition together. But then, of course, after you do that, you want to start asking it questions. How could it be improved? So I'll give you some examples of that as well. Now, of course, you're using an open AI system. Eventually, you'll probably have your own proprietary one. But today, you're using an open one. So don't put in unique IP or your trade secrets. And in addition to that, you have to verify all the facts that come out of chat. The goal here is to help you understand the concepts and gain ideas. You have to develop and be responsible for your own value proposition. And obviously, I have more on my, as indicated here with the QR code. Okay, well, here's what the framework looks like. This is an NABC action plan for a waste application. It says, create a proposal for Big Belly, a revolutionary trash compacting system with trash sensing for efficient use of trash trucks. Okay, so this is a common problem. And you'll see it's got some capital letters. Those are places where you have to put in your queries. And then below, it's got the hook, need, approach, benefits, cost, competition, and action, with some brief descriptions, a little more detail about what that means, which you can pursue later. And this is what comes out from chat. I'll just read the hook just as one example. Cities are drowning in waste, with trash bins often overflowing before the next collection cycle. Big Belly offers us revolution in managing urban refuse. That's pretty good. I didn't put those things in it, inferred that, and came up with that answer. It's a pretty good hook. It's not good enough yet, but it's pretty good. And if you go through the rest of this value proposition, you'll see that the answers are also pretty good. They're not quantitative, they're not specific, you're not done. But I would tell you, having listened to thousands of proposals for new value propositions, frankly, several are as good as this one, just from the first iteration with Chat. Now, your job as an innovator, of course, is to prove this enormously and add a whole host of concepts that are not included yet. But this will give you the idea, give you the basis, help your team understand what's required and the kinds of issues you're likely to have to look into. So once you have that, you start asking your questions. So here, U stands for me. That's what I plugged this into Chat. I said, with one sentence, number and name 3 ways this can be improved. So it came back with integrate solar power to reduce the energy footprint. Good. Develop a mobile application for real-time public reporting of bin status. That's good. Incorporate machine learning to predict and optimize collection routes. Of course. So these are kind of the intuitive things you might expect to find with an application like this. But you keep on doing this and you keep on comparing them with your new idea and how it compares with the competition, which is exactly what I asked next. Name 3 competitors. So it came back with 3 excellent examples. And particularly in this case, is I took this example from Big Belly, the first company it pulls up. That's where I got the inspiration for this. And in fact, it uses solar-powered waste and it uses our communication system. It's got some of the things that were already listed. So again, this just benchmarks what you have to confront and what you have to do better if you want to be a player in this space. And then I asked another basic question. What about investors? What more would they want to know? Well, investors would want to know about the scalability of the business model. Of course. Is this a little thing or is it a big thing? But that's important. Long-term sustainability and defensibility of the competitive advantage. Fundamental. It's a very crowded space. You have to come up with something really big and new that matters. And what about detailed financial projections with expected return on investment? Of course. These are all fundamental things. And that, over time, you keep on asking these kinds of questions, you keep on answering these questions. And it helps you frame it and gives you suggestions for how to do these things. So that's it. Now, as I've mentioned, it's not the whole story. It's just a very efficient, effective way to begin by starting with your NABC Action Plan. What we've learned is if you can answer those questions succinctly, specifically, quantitatively, you're probably going in a good direction. And if you can't yet, it doesn't make too much sense to move on to more complicated value propositions. So we start there, but as soon as we do a pretty good job of that, we have to add all the other ingredients. And so I show on this slide market and beachhead, a business model, risk reduction, a whole host of things that you want to be able to identify as you develop your value proposition. And then, of course, it depends on where you want to end up. You want to create an R&D proposal, a new product, a new venture, new license, whatever you want to do. And we have AI tutors for all of those. So for example, if you were going to submit a proposal to NSF, we have a tutor for that. Intellectual property, that's fundamental. At some point along this journey, we have a tutor for that. So the whole idea here is instead of having to spend your time, listening to lectures about these things, you can actually participate and iterate and learn on your own using an AI tutor in an area that's of interest to you. So I have a lot more information at the end of this talk and on my LinkedIn page. I hope you'll join us and add your thoughts about how we can all improve our innovative potential. So you know, it's a great time for all professionals who have these value creation skills. I hope you'll join us in adding them to your repertoire. So in between, remember, keep on iterating. You can't iterate enough. Take care. Bye-bye.